one of the biggest things that's held me back on my journey to, getting what I want in life has been me. And what I mean by this is I was getting in my own way for a long time. I had the goal of being self-employed as a creative person, or, having some sort of business or something like that. And I wanted to be flexible. I didn't want to work too much, and I wanted to make money. And I wanted to be independent, and I wanted to have the things that I wanted, and I wanted to have the flexibility to travel and to kind of live a hybrid lifestyle. But I didn't know anybody really that had done this, and so I wasn't overly confident in my abilities to get this. And a lot of the confidence that we get is from other people encouraging us. It's that external validation. It's really common that if you want to go to college or something like that, that you're going to get tons of support from loads of people, like your parents, your teachers, whatever. They're going to be like, oh yeah, go get it. But for things like that are slightly more outside of the box, like, starting a YouTube channel or like a media company, a lot of people don't quite understand how all of that works. And so when they hear your ambition, you want money, but you want to work not very much, and you want to travel, like that's a pretty wild ambition relative to the ambition of, say, my parents' generation. And so I would find myself playing down what I was going for. Like people would like ask you like, oh, so what do you do? And I would never have the courage to say what I'm really working on, what I'm really doing. Or if I did, say that I make videos, I'd be like, oh yeah, I make video, kind of like just playing it down as if it was a hobby or not important or not worth really being excited about and sharing with the world. I don't understand why I did that and why people do that. Like, we're afraid to just be really vocal about it because we're afraid of failing. Like, I was afraid of it not working out. I was afraid of not being able to achieve the things that I had wanted to, achieve. And if I ended up, really shouting it from the rooftops and then it failed, then I would have been embarrassed. And, God forbid if I was embarrassed. So there was a point where I noticed that like my dreams, they weren't being, squashed. Like I never had a plan B. I was never going to, resort to something else. And I realized, well, I need to just really commit to this, not just through my action, but also through the energy that I bring to it when I'm having conversations with other people. And I was out for a hike maybe like 6 months ago, and I started networking and meeting with people that are, of like mind, that are really ambitious as I am, and like starting their own things. And it's really important, this part, because if you're around people that aren't quite understanding of what you're trying to do, then you might share your mission or your ambition, and they might kind of plant seeds of doubt. And that's fine. Like, it's no hate to the people planting seeds of doubt, but is that the most supportive person for you to be speaking to about these things? It wasn't for me. But anyway, back to my hike. So I was on a hike with some of my friends, and one of my friends, Kylie, and we were talking about money. And I was like, I got to make a bunch of money. And she's like, how are you going to make a bunch of money? I was like, I'm going to post a video on YouTube, and overnight it's just going to blow up, and then I'm going to make money from YouTube. And she was like, oh, cool. Like, and like, how likely is that to happen? I was like, well, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. And like, maybe a few days after that, I posted my dopamine detox video, which was the most, at the time, viewed video on this channel. And the thing is, when I was talking to her, I was so confident. I was like, this is happening. Like, I don't know when it's happening, but it's happening. And I am going to persistently post until it happens. And the dopamine detox video took off, and I was like, okay, great, cool. And we were one step closer. And then, for a few more months, I was posting videos, and nothing was really happening with those videos. I was like, okay, we had hit a good milestone, but Now we got to keep on doing that over and over again. We get another milestone. And then, you know, like 2.5 months ago, this channel really started to get traction and really started to get eyes on the videos, because we had another viral video, which was the how self-improvement ruined my life, which at this point in time is like 600,000 views or something like that. So I say this to say, it was around the time I was just like all in emotionally. I was like, this is happening. I'm not afraid to tell people that I am a YouTuber or whatever, content creator, whatever you are. And it's like, okay, maybe then I wasn't making money, but I was like, I'm gonna be, because I'm not gonna stop. And when I had that confidence and I brought that confidence to conversations, like that was the confidence, like the conversations that you have is just reflective of your internal conversation with self. And truthfully, I was afraid to fail. And so I wouldn't be all in my enthusiasm in my conversations. And every time I did that and I played small, I was crushing the dream. I wasn't honoring the dream, and I wasn't honoring myself and recognizing that I had value to give. Every time I said, oh, it's just this little thing, but don't even check it out. Every time I said that, I was basically saying, what I'm doing is not worth it. And when I shifted from what I'm doing is not worth it to what I'm doing is worth it, and it's going to be valuable for people when they tune in, and maybe they're not tuning in right now, but at some point they will. And until that point comes, I'm going to keep persisting. I'm going to keep learning more, cultivating skills, cultivating knowledge, which is ultimately what I share in the videos, be it through, you know, insights or cinematography or just, you know, a chill vibe. And this is what we need to do with whatever we're doing. We need to really commit to it in our action, in how we speak about it, and how we think about it, and how we feel about it. You need to believe that what you're doing is worth it. And for so long, I was suppressing the potential within me. I was not acknowledging the value within me. One way that I kind of got out of this habit of like not really seeing the value that I had to give was to affirm, instead of, you know, being afraid that a video wasn't going to take off or be afraid that I wasn't going to have any good ideas. I got excited for the opportunities that were coming to me as a result of me sharing my gifts and my stories and my skill set. I got excited about the wealth that was going to come, the wealth of connections with people, the wealth of money, the wealth of experiences to travel the world and to do this. I'm going to Spain tomorrow and I'm going to be shooting the whole thing. And I'm so excited to have that incorporated into future stories that I share here on this channel. And this is also that dream that I've been cultivating over the years, is to live somewhere. Like I live here in Ireland, but I also had that flexibility because I started the business and I started these different revenue streams. And for, you know, a year or two, it was really touch and go and it didn't look great. But with the persistence and still believing, even when the bank account wasn't looking so fly, even when the views weren't there, I still kept putting in that action and that effort, and most of all spoke highly of myself to myself, and spoke highly of what I was doing to the people that I was hanging out with. Of course, I mentioned having the right people around you is so vital, because when we surround ourselves with people that understand and comprehend what we are experiencing and going through, that is so supportive to our mission, and that ultimately is supportive for the rest of the world. I mentioned those affirmations just before, and I actually made a meditation with these affirmations. It's linked in the description. You can check that out. It might be helpful for you to give you an idea of the type of kind of internal dialogue that you can cultivate that will be helpful. Because let's be real, like the journey is lonely a lot of the time, and it's tough, and it can take time. But we need to take all of the tools that we can at our disposal. You know, we need to surround ourselves with the right people. We need to surround ourselves with the right content. If you're consuming content, consume content from people that are doing what you want to do, because that's how you learn. You know, if you like reading books or whatever, read books from people that have done things that you aspire to do. And that's how you get these skills, and you get to put your own unique twist onto things. You have a lot to share, my friend, and that dream, that vision that you have, it's not too far away. And start really believing it, because the faster you can really believe it in your bones, in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, the faster the external is going to reflect that to you. That's it for this video. There's a newsletter in the description. That meditation's there as well. Newsletter is kind of where I share a newsletter with helpful insights like this. If you found this helpful, you might find that helpful. Catch you in the next video, and check this video out next, because if you like this, you'll probably like that one and have